Hey guys, and welcome back to our Infinite Flight video training series. My name is Mark, or as most of you know me as Skyhawk Heavy. Today we're going to be going over on how to land the CRJ-700. So let's go ahead and get started. Here you will see that I put together a QRG, or a quick reference guide, with some bullet points on flying the approach, and we'll cover downwind, base, final, short final, all of that within the video. Now, if you want to keep this on hand, of course, all you have to do is pause the video and then just take a screenshot, and you'll have the QRG available anytime. So we're going to start on left downwind. And on downwind, you want to fly around 210 knots indicated. Of course, this is clean, no flaps or slats deployed. As you begin to turn your base leg, you want to slow down to about 190 knots. And typically I will go to flaps 1, which is 20 degrees of slats, forward slats. And then as you start to turn final, you'll go to about 170 knots. And then once you are reaching 170, you can go down to flaps 8 or even down to flaps 20. And you will fly that to around a 5-mile final. And once you get to that 5-mile final, then you're going to start to slow the aircraft even more, setting it up for your final approach speed. So let's go ahead and speed up through the approach. Once we reach the 5-mile final, we'll go ahead and slow down. As you can see, I'm slowing down to around 140 knots. I am at flaps 30 already and shooting the approach. And I will continue my descent, staying between 135 and 145 knots indicated. And of course, you want to control your rate of descent by your throttle. And at 5 miles, you also want to drop the landing gear. Go ahead and arm your spoilers. Once you get around 1,000 feet AGL, you're going to go ahead and start slowing to your final approach speed of around 135 knots, 140 knots, and go ahead and drop your flaps to 45 degrees. And again, that's at 1,000 feet AGL. Slow to around 135, and then flaps 45 degrees. Now you will notice that I have a very slight positive pitch or angle of attack, and that's one thing that the forward slats do. Help you to have a little bit of a positive angle of attack, positive pitch, however you want to call it, on the final approach. And so we'll just fly this. Again, you can see that I'm working the throttle to maintain the rate of descent, holding around 135 knots all the way down to the threshold. And then once you get about 20 to 10 feet AGL above the runway, you'll want to go ahead and cut the power to idle, and then just let it float down to the ground. And then, of course, increasing your angle of attack for your flare anywhere from about 3 to 5 degrees positive pitch. So you want to cross the threshold again at around 50 feet. Once you get down to about 10 to 20 feet AGL, closer to 10, you just cut the throttle, start your flare 3 to 5 degrees, and just let the aircraft settle onto the runway. So you will notice that I have 60% positive trim. Will actually help with keeping the nose wheel from slamming down. And of course, you also want to apply back pressure. So with the back pressure and the positive trim of 60%, the nose should not slam down. And of course, keeping the nose off the nose gear off the runway allows you to use the rudder a little bit easier to keep the aircraft aligned with the center line. So as you slow down, of course, the steering will become more active as opposed to the rudder, and then you just taxi off the runway. So, guys, that's it. I mean, it's fairly simple, but it's a little bit different than other aircraft. But it is a lot of fun to fly, a lot of fun to take off and land with. Trim is very essential on the CRJ. So guys, that's it. That's the basics on landing the CRJ. It's a lot of fun, can be challenging, but hopefully this video will help you improve the landings and have a better understanding. Make sure that you check us out on our social media at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And make sure you also click that subscribe button here on YouTube. This is Skyhawk Heavy. Thank you for watching.